feel so fortunate to have spent most of my career here. It's a unique space that creates so much opportunity for children and families and educators to engage in this practice of relationships and to engage in collaboration. When I walk into this space, I can see and feel it. The responsive environments piece is really just about connecting with the children and what they're bringing every day, and that, we are responding to their interests, we're responding to, each child is unique, and so we're going to see, some children need a little bit more time in some moments of the day, and then that there's other moments of the day that they want to move through a little bit quicker, and so being open to what the children are needing. And I think too, with responsive environments, there's this element of the materials, and we as a center have thought really intentionally about the materials that we're bringing into the spaces for children. When educators have had an opportunity to explore the materials in different ways, then they are able to offer it to children in different ways and see these different possibilities with it, which I think brings so much value into that relationship between children and educators and materials, that they're all in this relationship coexisting.
Everything is so interconnected that what we're doing, like the values of flight, are part of our values that we have here, and those are the day-to-day things that we're doing. The image of the child is really the approach that we take in everything that we're doing. How we are with children is a reflection of what we believe to be true about children and childhood. So we take the approach of children as mighty learners and citizens, and when we're thinking about our routines, our transitions, the provocations we have for children, the experiences that they have here, it's all guided by this idea that children are mighty learners and they are citizens, and they're already come complete. We're not working to have children be a certain way or that they have to meet these certain outcomes. Children are already competent and they're capable already. But it really is everything, especially in how we are with children, how we're talking to them, getting to their level, talking to them in respectful ways, valuing what children say, slowing down to hear children's ideas, noticing what children are doing, and talking to children about that, and making their learning visible, I think, is part of that, nurturing children as mighty learners and citizens.
I think the practice of relationship is so much at the core of everything that we do as educators here at Elm. I think it's how we support children and families in the hard times, and how we celebrate them in their happy times, and then everything else that comes in between those moments. When we build this strong sense of community and connection, we're able to build a community that kind of just welcomes you in, and you immediately just feel this sense of belonging. As soon as you walk in the door, you're accepted for everything that you bring to the community. When we see families in this positive way, it allows us to build a really strong relationship with them. We can celebrate their uniqueness, and we really get to know them, and we know them as a whole, and it just makes the relationship so much stronger, and it gives us the opportunity to support them in specific ways, support their children in specific ways, and gives us the opportunity to celebrate their uniqueness and their child's uniqueness and what it means to us as a community as a whole. And it builds like that really solid trust and that foundation for moving forward with that family.
So I think that a lot of children experience the world in different ways, and because of that, the way that they demonstrate these dispositions to play or to learn is going to be different depending on each child. My role is to honor those by recognizing that each child is going to demonstrate these dispositions differently, and recognize that that's part of their identity and who they are. So it might look different. Caring might look different. The disposition to participate is going to look different for one child than it is for another child. I can honor those by recognizing that, by noticing that, naming that, and then nurturing it in a way that makes sense for them. I think another big part of it is those conversations between educators. So we do a lot of talking with each other about like, oh, I'm noticing they've been really curious about this new sensory experience in the water table. Or I've noticed that this child's been so playful when they come in the morning. And then thinking about together, working together to find ways to encourage that more and encourage others to join them as well.
Every single day, children and families bring some new knowledge and new experiences into our care setting. When educators and students understand what co-inquiry is this endless cycle of observing what you see children are doing and noticing what questions and wonderings they might have in the everyday moments that we have with children, and also thinking about what curiosities educators have with what you see children are doing and how that supports your learning and also the learning that you might do alongside children. It really helps us to be lifelong learners in this field because we're always curious and we're always wanting to know more. It reminds us to pause and reflect on our practice, and I think that's very important for educators and students to do. It propels you to take those next steps of what you might offer children to expand on their learning in the room with children.
Flight offers an opportunity for educators to notice and name their practices. And by noticing and naming our practice, then we're able to share that with the children and the families, as well as the larger community. Flight is this shared universal language that elevates our practice, it elevates what we're doing.
It gives me the language to use when I'm trying to make those connections to what I see is happening in the room and bringing it back to Flight.
Flight guides how I view children and families and supports my view of them as being strong. It also gives me the opportunity to see children and their families as unique and strong and capable.
It's something that we live and that we breathe. It's something that it's kind of there at the back of our minds at all times, even consciously and unconsciously. It's something that has just kind of become part of who we are.
Flight isn't just for children's learning, but it also is a way of being with families and relationship with families. We're growing alongside families and we're supporting them in many of the transitions that are happening. We're supporting them in their child's play and learning. And Flight really helps bring children, families, and educators together.